Hey, I think I like it like this. I just bumped into the chair, but I think it's okay. Hi, Pisces. First of all, let me say happy birthday season to you. I know a lot of Pisces in my life, and I was basically married to a Pisces for a long ass time, okay? Over 10 years. And yeah, so I love you guys. You guys are beautiful. You're wonderful. I know some Pisces that I dance with that are colleagues of mine. Um, Wonderful people, glamorous, very nice, self sacrificing, right? Whew, how was that full moon in Virgo for you guys at 0 degrees? Ooh, I guess it was a little tumultuous. Yeah, maybe there's some anxieties you guys are having because of how passionate you feel about something. I feel like you guys are experiencing a new beginning of sorts, and it's making you feel a little bit anxious just because you want to see things kind of start to get better, for the sake of the new beginning that you're so hopeful for. I also feel like you guys are experiencing a sense of hope inside yourself that is it's one that kind of just comes, right? Look at that. Six of Cups. Hope that just kind of comes at random times, you know what I mean? Because you guys have definitely been feeling the depths of, what it means to have, this full moon hit like at the beginning of your season, right? It's opposing you. Here's Venus and Virgo here. So, what's being lit up? What's being highlighted in your house of relationships, or what's being highlighted in your routine right now? Um, have your routine relationships changed? Have your relationships changed within your routine? Are you experiencing a new found form of relationships, meaning new people are in your routine that weren't before, that type of thing. Or maybe you find some people not being in your routine. There's some cleansing that's been taking place, and there's been some endings and some culminations, right? Some things have been illuminated that have been hidden, maybe even just for you, subconsciously, not even like somebody revealing something to you or someone saying something to you. Maybe you've been having some dreams. Maybe you've been having some thoughts, some inclinations, some inspirations, and you're aligning things. You're tying up the ends, and you're making something out of all of these things. Right? There's like a thread line. There's a through line. You're connecting the dots between how your subconscious has been connecting and communicating with you. Mercury is in your sign right now, um, and also the sun is there. Um, we're about to have the moon be there as well. And Neptune is also there. So there are some things that we really are a little bit confused by right now that we will continue to be confused by, especially you guys, because Mercury is there and we're in the shadow phase of retrograde. So you guys are going to be going back over some things. Some of us are going to be leaving some jobs or going, to some jobs, and we're going to be, starting to get a sense of balance of what that means to us. These new places that we're going to, these new places that you are finding yourself in, the new people that you find yourself around, that type of thing. How do they fit in your routine? What's the flow of the routine? How are you staying motivated within the flow of your routine? How disciplined are you? Because sometimes when you're not motivated, you have to just be disciplined, and that's going to serve you. And that's something that Virgo teaches you. So, because we just had that full moon in Virgo, a lot of us are learning how to stay disciplined and how to stay, just very focused on completing, tasks and paying attention to some details, and, just really trying to be clear on what it is that we want, right? Anyway, I've cut the cards, or I've finished shuffling the cards. I don't think I cut them, so I'm gonna cut them now. But at the bottom of the deck, there we go. We have the the devil, which is talking about codependencies, right? Unhealthy attachments, and it's the awareness of how committed you've been to something for a considerable amount of time, something that is befitting a negative response, a negative reaction. You might even be burning the candles at both ends. You sort of are like staring danger in the face, you feel like, or you might have this feeling of anxieties because you feel like you're staring, not danger in the face, but it's almost like, you might be experiencing some red flags, or you might be on red alert for some type of reason. And it might have something to do with your finances. You might be thinking about your finances. Some of you might be thinking about, getting a job because of a drop in finances, or some of you might be going back to a job that you once were attached to, and this is something that you might be experiencing. It also could be just that, there's been an accumulation of jobs that you have had over a period of time, and you guys might feel like you want to go to a job that is going to be more fitting for you, one that you're going to be happier at, one that you're not going to be feeling intimidated by the authorities' improper use of their status or their power or that type of thing, or just like having a boss that doesn't really care about the well-being of the employees, that type of thing. You might be, you just are very aware of how committed you were to a situation that didn't really commit itself to you as much as you thought it would have, or maybe you didn't commit yourself to a situation because of some of the unhealthy attachments you had elsewhere. And so now your awareness has just been brought to, the attention of how maybe you disrespected something, or how you were disrespected, or it might even have something to do with, your belief systems and who you believe yourself to be, and what you may have demanded based on who you believe yourself to be. Okay, because it does have a level of respect. It has, a level of respect plays into this card, and it's the acute awareness of a level of respect that you have for yourself based on some belief systems that you have been taught, and principles that you have learned from, just your family and people growing up. It really is talking about self-respect here, and how you are going to show yourself more self-respect. Okay. Wow. And that's just before I even cut the deck. So let's go ahead and cut the deck. Damn, bitch. You better work, Pisces. Okay. Wow. I'm feeling a little mixed. I'm feeling 3LW. I'm feeling you do or you don't, down. Bitch, you got the Ace of Cups, Pisces. Now, this is your energy, right? This is the awareness of a feeling that has been brought to you, or that has been presented to you. It's like that feeling of cleansing that I was talking about at the beginning of the reading. This white dove is coming in, and it's dropping that ball of light, right? It's like a ball of hope, right? And it's spilling out this flow of love, right? These channels of receptivity, of understanding, abundantly as well, you know? Um, and this water lily here, it grows in the water, right? So there's that sense that there's something underneath to catch that water. So some of you might even be going to therapy. Some of you might be just kind of like really trying to get a great understanding of how you feel about a certain situation, probably. You know what I mean? You might be aware of a feeling that you have now, right? Or someone may have made you aware of a feeling. And this Ace of Cups could be the awareness of the feeling that you have in terms of the unhealthy attachment, or the codependency, or it's the awareness of how you feel about what you want to do, what you want to initiate, how you're going to use your feeling as a resource to help guide you. That's why this card kind of represents your intuition, or it does represent your intuition as well. You could be dealing with a water sign, or this could just be you yourself tapping into a new attitude. Ooh, 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 ooh. Right? I'm feeling good from my head to my shoes. Pisces, is that what's going on? Ooh, 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 ooh. It's because it's your birthday season. So you need to tap into that energy, right? I don't care if Mercury is there and it's in the shadow phase of being retrograde. The sun is still there, and Neptune is there too. Okay, dissolving boundaries. So even if you feel restrained, or even if you feel restricted, or even if you feel like you're being made to learn some lessons over and over again, some stuff that you thought that you had already learned that wasn't even really supposed to be a part of this phase in your life, that actually is still a part of this phase because you're closing some cycles out in terms of your relationships, in terms of like how you see your self confidence, right? Seventh house, Virgo, how you see your self confidence in your day to day life. How is your self confidence or your lack of self confidence affecting your day to day life? How is it affecting your relationships? How is it affecting your daily routine? How is it affecting your diet? How is it affecting the way that you treat your body? That type of thing, right? All right. So let me go ahead and lay these cards out. I said that I was going to do a cause and effect. So let me go ahead and do that. Actually, how it goes is bam, 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 and then I fill it back all the way around. Then you get your immediate influence, which is your challenge. The Ace of Cups is still at the bottom of the reading. And even though these cards are in specific placements, I'm still going to read the energies of the cards just as if they were laid out in a tableau on the table, because I feel like that's something that a lot of people get more messages out of. And if Spirit calls for me to do that, then that is what I shall do. So, also to clarify these placements, which is going to be the air placement, which is just talking about your thoughts, you know, the decisions that you're making, the choices that you're making, how you're allowing other people's decisions and choices affect you, that type of thing. Your logic in a situation that you might be facing. Also, just think about that. You know what I mean? When it comes to these different placements, all right? Because they represent something in the reading, but then, you know, just think about how they can correlate to your life based on what they represent, period, with a T at the end. Okay, so I'm also going to shuffle the Mystical Lenormand deck for the, you know, just extra clarifications for these spots here. And then I'm going to go ahead and get started. I hope that you guys enjoy the reading. You know, if you'd like to get a reading from me, email providencetarotkendrick at gmail.com. Okay. One more time, I'm going to do this. Now, I like the Mystical Lenormand cards because they have numerology on them. And then they also have, you know, a card fell out. And they also have the signs on them, and then they have the Roman numerals on them. So there's a lot of different ways to interpret the card. I love that. So I think that I have shuffled them. Now I'm just going to cut them. Thank you, Spirit. And a card fell out, and it's the coffin. And this is number 8. So this is talking about, you know, being able to stay strong and have courage and allow yourself to just experience and witness how you are being vulnerable, held, or being made to feel vulnerable in a situation that might have to do with, you know, health, disease, you know, it could even have to do with the victimization of something. I'm getting that for some reason. And then it also has to just do with sorrows that you might be facing. You know what I mean? And just because we spoke about the devil card that came up, that could definitely talk about this card and having some sorrows to do. And then we have the Ace of Cups here, which is the awareness of a feeling of sorrow, probably, you know, that you might have. And it's the abundance of that too. Um, you might have had a Ten of Cups moment where you had put, aggression into the identification of like the overwhelming feeling of something that brought you to this Ace of Cups, which is like, okay, now I have to focus on what that means for me. So now I'm in a new place of beginning, a new awareness, a new moment of focus, clarity within my feelings. So let's look at what's going on in the center of the reading for you. So you have a seven here. I was talking about the seven at the beginning of the reading, talking about how Virgo is your seventh house, and also how seventh house is ruled by Libra, and that is a Venetian planet. This is the Seven of Wands. This is just talking about, you're committed to making a decision to move forward with something, that with a relationship. It could even have to do with, um, you know, shit. Moving forward, right? It's like you're gonna keep it moving just because you feel like you've been faced with so many different challenges, bumps in the roads, obstacles, things like that. Some of you might have even been feeling like like your family may have like been against you at some point, but that's just for some of you guys. It does have to do with a level of respect that you might have for yourself and maybe even dignity. Um, I'm getting that you definitely need to put more energy into the belief that you have that you can conquer whatever it is, whatever challenge that you might be facing. You know what I mean? Because what I'm getting is like, you're not dead. It's like, that's what life is. Life shows you uh, how to face challenges and make decisions in the heat of the moment, or make decisions within, the fire that life puts to your feet, that type of thing. All right, so let's look at what the challenge or the immediate influence is in terms of this um, Seven of Rods. The King of Rods is here. So for some of you, the challenge might just be like you feeling a sense of, you know, distinguished. You feel like maybe there's a person that you feel challenged by, or maybe there's a person that you guys want to, that you are trying to gain the confidence to face. Or this could be you, trying to gain the confidence to face yourself. And it's like you are trying to prove to yourself who you are, or this person that you know that you are. And you may have like been slowed down, or you may have been like sidetracked for a little bit, but now you're trying to move forward and you're determined to commit to yourself, and standing firm and believing you are who you say you are, and practicing what you preach. It's almost kind of like doing. You're going to be, you're determined to get to a higher status as well, career wise, some of you, because the King of Rods is fixed fire, which is Leo energy. So this is like, the challenge, and what you might be intimidated by is your ability to create. You know what I mean? And the seventh house is Libra, and that's a very creative sign. So you might be feeling like your creative juices might be being blocked, or your creativity might be being blocked, with this King of Rods being here as your challenge. Or you might even feel like be feeling like someone is blocking your creativity. It might be a boss for some of you guys. You might be feeling like someone who might be a supervisor over you might be just practicing their authority because they have it, and they might be doing it from a passionate place just to kind of like challenge you to prove yourself to them, whoever this might be for. You know what I mean? And you might be feeling like constrained by this. You know what I mean? It's like the type of like I'm getting like straight jacket or that type of thing, because that's what the coffin looks like, right from the mystical Lenormand. It looks like a straight jacket almost. To me, that's what it looks like. Anyway, I'm playing Home Shake. That's the band, and the album is called helium. I'm an air sign. Double Libra. All right, so Pisces, let's look at what's at the foundation of your reading here. Wow, you have another seven. So these sevens are talking about challenges, right? Like I said, um, adversity that you might be experiencing. And it's like, you need to just kind of like regain the confidence to move forward. Um, at the bottom of the reading, the foundation, there's something that has to do with like betrayal, which is at the foundation of this reading. There's a betrayal at the foundation of this reading. You might be committed to, you know, um, putting some things to rest in terms of the betrayal, but then there's still some things that are hidden, right? Because these sevens are related to the chariot, which the chariot is ruled by the moon. And that means that there are some things going on in terms of like the subconscious, meaning like some hidden things, meaning like some things that you actually don't want to allow yourself to face. Like I said in the beginning of the reading, when that devil card came up, it's about facing your fears, right? And the fear might actually be you, right? Stare yourself in the face and see what it is about you that you need to be able to deal with so that you can move forward confidently and step into the place that you were meant to be in. You know what I mean? What is it? You know, you could be lying to yourself about a certain thing. There could be something that was built on lies. There could be a foundation that's built on lies. You could have committed yourself. You could have made a not committed yourself, but you could have made a decision to commit to, understanding the truths about a situation and cutting your losses in terms of like, you know, just what you thought about the situation. Um, and what you felt about the situation as well, because it has to do with perspective, and it has to be your perspective being challenged by the way that you feel about the truth about a scenario or a situation, right? And it's almost like you have to understand that you are being taught a lesson here in terms of like just understanding that this is going to happen, you know? Sometimes you may not know all the answers, or sometimes you might, not admit to your wrongdoings or not admit to, um, overreacting because someone may have clarified something or someone may have brought up a truth that you didn't want to be brought up, right? But the truth had to come out, or someone had to acknowledge their truth and their understanding of what the truth was based on the information that they had and based on the information, all the information that they got. And they didn't even get all the information. So you may have been, slowing down a process because, you didn't want to give the entire truth about a scenario. Or maybe you just have to, you had to take your ideas, your concepts. You had to take your concept of reality and keep it moving, because it almost seems like your concept of reality and someone else's concept of reality are two different things, right? Anyway, I don't know where I'm getting all of that from, but this does have to do with like, your confidence and believing in some of the things that you might have been told, or you may have been, you know, uh, um, you may have been given a false sense of what the truth was by someone who might have been in authority or in an authoritative position. Um, this is also like somebody who just kind of maybe wanted to be right. So it didn't matter like what the truth was, as long as they made it seem like they were right about whatever it was that was actually kind of wrong here. That's for some of you. Now I'm going too far. Let me look at the top of the reading for you guys. It's so late here. Oh my god. What time is it? It's 3:37. Okay. So at the top of the reading, you have the Lover's card. And this could have to do with family. Like I said, you guys might have been challenged by, the family. There may have been some lies within the family. There may have been some dark things or some truths that were brought up. Or maybe the family was challenging you. Or maybe they were just, very, I don't know, instrumental in you feeling like you were facing some form of adversity. Anyway, the top of the reading has the Lover's card, and that's a 6, and that's Mercury, right? And what I was saying before is Mercury is in your sign, and it's going to be going retrograde. Right now, it's in its shadow phase. So there's some things that are being projected forward into the future, that definitely have to do with what's going on with this retrograde and what was going on in the sixth house of the zodiac, which is Virgo, which is actually the seventh house from you, which we have some sevens here, right? Definitely some things being obstructed, definitely some things being revealed, definitely, wanting to move forward desperately from a situation, out of a situation, with something, maybe even with someone. This could have been someone that you felt like you had, some really, this could be someone that you may have loved, or this could just be like a company or like a group of people that you are going to be joining, and it's going to be more of a harmonious situation for some of you. The lovers do also have to do with, like, some of you need to get a massage probably. Um, Also, the Mercury has to do with messages. So also during this retrograde season, especially because Mercury is retrograding your sign, you might have to like go over the details. What do they say? Measure twice, cut once. That type of thing. Cross your T's and dot your I's, right? That type of thing. Make sure that you're sending the emails that you type out. You know what I mean? Make sure that you're checking the ones that you need to check. Make sure that you're getting back to people if they call you. Make sure you're checking your voicemail if you're someone that doesn't check their voicemail often. That type of thing. Um, but this card to me just signifies that, or symbolizes that moving forward towards the future, some things that you don't know yet that you're going to be moving into is like, just a sense of harmony, a sense of understanding, and it's like a very a not compromising, but you will be able to it's like people will be able to make compromises with each other that are going to make a better working relationship. So this is saying that you might have to make a compromise in the future. You know what I mean? Some of you might even work with your hands. Some of you might be writers. Some of you may be massage therapists. Some of you might work with your work in, you know, television. Some of you might even be like sculptures or things like that, because it's Mercury is like the hands, and Gemini is like they do a lot of things with the hands. I'm getting flowers too. So some of you might need to check up on a flower order, you know what I mean? Or, I don't know, or maybe you need to order some flowers for something. Because the lovers is really talking about beauty as well. If you want to think about Venus, you can think about Venus here as well. But definitely Mercury is the lovers. And the sixth house is Virgo, which is the lovers as well because it's Mercury. This could even be the physical body. Some of you might need to work on your physical body right now, just because that'll help you feel better about the situation that you've been going through. You know what I mean? If you feel like you want to feel a breakthrough, or you want to feel some progression of moving forward, like try working on something now that you haven't worked on, that you will definitely see an improvement in that area, because now you're bringing attention to that area, right? You're bringing attention to an area and you're nurturing that part of your life, right? So that's going to definitely be uh, um, um, instrumental in you healing and you getting past this point of, just feeling the anxiety of a slowdown, right? It's not necessarily disappointment, but you might be feeling disappointed just right now. So let me go ahead and flip over the wow. Okay, work, bitch. How you gonna get the lovers, and then the next card that I flip over is the Two of Cups. So some of you are thinking about a relationship. Some of you are thinking about another person and how you relate to them. Some of you might even be communicating with your lover, you know what I mean? Trying to do it on more of a deeper level. You might be trying to really get them to understand you because of what these harsh realities of what you've been going through have been teaching you, and what they have been kind of like forcing out of you, because when we are challenged, that's when things start to come out of us. Right? Because it's almost like we're cleansing, and we're purging things right now. We're going back, definitely. This is talking about receptivity, right? Nurturing each other's experience. So you could be thinking about the closeness that you have with someone, or the closeness that you had with someone. This could be making a choice to give oneself to someone, spiritually that way, which means that basically you're strengthening your bond. You might be thinking about strengthening your bond with someone, or you might even just be thinking about expressing your feelings to someone so that they understand something. Um, you might even just be thinking about how you may have affected someone emotionally, because the twos talk about for every action there is a reaction, and it is also an understanding that there is a call and a response, and it also definitely evokes a sense of balance. So some of you might even be thinking about how you can achieve a greater sense of emotional balance, or you might be thinking about, definitely how you and someone's relationship with each other affects the other person. Okay? And because of that, okay, so you're appreciative of this person, right? When you think about them, right? Um, this is also you appreciating the routine. It's like almost like you're thinking about how this person, because it's the Two of Cups, and it's next to the Nine of Pentacles, which the Nine of Pentacles is Venus in Virgo, and the Two of Cups is Venus in Cancer. So we're definitely talking about love here for now, and we're definitely talking about your thinking about a relationship, right? And you're thinking about how someone fits into your routine, and you're really appreciating that part about how someone fits in your routine. It's the awareness of how complete you feel with that person. It's almost like just with them being there, it kind of like brings a greater sense of abundance to you and your surrounding anyway. Also, I feel like this could just kind of like be, you relating to each other on a spiritual level daily, and you acknowledging the beauty within that. Some people could be thinking about someone daily or feeling them daily, or you might be reconnecting with that relationship on a subconscious level daily, and you might be experiencing some kind of pleasure or bliss out of that. But then again, it also is just saying like, you're going in and you're sort of like making an analysis, because it is the Nine of Pentacles and the Hermit rules the nine, and this is a nine that is a Virgo, that is a pentacle, right? So has a lot of Virgo energy in it. It's almost like you might even be motivated to find even greater understanding of what you might be learning, or getting out of the relationship. It's almost like you might be making a decision for two people as well. Some of you might be thinking about making a decision, um, you know, that is talking about, how your routine might be changing. Uh, You might be talking to your partner about a luxury item or an item that you guys need, that type of thing, or something that's practical that you may need, that the both of you might need, that the both of you might benefit from, that type of thing. Um, it could even be a pet for some of you. Some of you guys might be thinking of a pet. Um, you just might be thinking that it might bring more, it might enrich your lives, or it may bring a different aspect to your daily lives, right? With this Nine of Pentacles being here, an aspect of beauty brought to your daily life, that type of thing. Um, some of you might even be dealing with a Cancer. Some of you might even be dealing with a Virgo. Some of you might be dealing with a Sag, ninth house, or some of you might even be dealing with a Gemini or a Taurus. Okay, that's all I'm gonna go with that. All right, so now let me look at the water placement, which is, the home. And it's also like how you're feeling. So we're going to see how they relate to this Ace of Cups, because the Ace of Cups is definitely related to the water placement because it popped up in the reading. And the Ace of Cups didn't have to pop up. Okay, there we go. We got a Cups card here because, right? Because it's a cause and effect reading. Pisces, you are dealing with, making a sacrifice. One that might have definitely affected you emotionally, and it may have been a sacrifice that had to do with the home. Maybe you gave something up in terms of the home. Maybe you had to give something up for the home. Maybe you sacrificed like space for the home or space in the home. You're committed to creating something, so it's like you had to sacrifice something, even though you felt vulnerable to that sacrifice. You just don't want to fall victim to, just doing what you felt like you needed to do. Some of you, that's some of you. But, some of you might be feeling um, like you don't want to let go of something that you have an attachment to and that you have been attached to for a period of time, a long period of time. It's almost like you are, uh, you're aware of like what you created from this commitment, you know what I mean, that you have invested in emotionally over this period of time. Um, there was probably a lot of lessons that you learned throughout this experience. Also, it helped you grow, you know what I mean? So that's why you're so attached to it, because it was a karmic thing for you. And that's why you feel so passionate, right? Because the Eight of Cups has a lot of red here. You see that red cloak? You feel very passionate about having to leave this thing that you've spent so much time building up, right? Cultivating, right? But it's almost like you've evolved. That moon is waning. So it's almost kind of like influencing you to go on to a new experience, right? It's kind of like this is a phase that's almost nearing completion. Um, it's Saturn in Pisces. So, it really is saying that you've probably wished and felt like this was something that needed to happen, right? Or maybe you just feel like maybe someone left, Pisces. Maybe someone left, and they needed to be committed to their own creativity in their life. You know what I mean? And maybe you feel like you've been left in the dark somehow. Or maybe you just feel left in the dark. You know what I mean? And maybe you feel left in the dark because all the light has left the situation that you're still standing in the fucking dark. And you need to turn around and go towards the light. And then you won't be in the dark anymore. This has to do also with the ego as well. It's almost like you don't want to let this thing go because you don't have the confidence to believe that you can do it again. Okay? Or that you can find it again. Or you don't want to disappoint something or someone, right? You don't want to disappoint a situation that you might be in with maybe a Leo or a Scorpio. Or maybe they have like a lot of energy in their eighth house or a fixed sign. Um, Yeah, this could be saying that, this is kind of like retrograde feelings right here, I think. Just because it's like, oh, I'm leaving. This could actually even be you learning a lesson from leaving a situation that you're no longer being, held back by, tied to, that you're no longer you no longer feel obligated towards. And that's still a part of the lesson. So it's not even over because this is Saturn and Pisces. So Saturn still has some work to do with you. Okay, Pisces. It's trying to teach you something, right? And the effect of that is the Knight of Swords. So you're going to have to definitely quickly adapt to some new concepts, definitely understand some truths quickly. You're definitely going to have to think logically. The knights are all fire, and this is the Knight of Swords, so it's fire and air. So this is one of great energy, right? Fuel, yeah, because the air fuels the fire. So it's going to take some courage from you as well to change this perspective or to definitely own up to some of the truths, right? Because you're definitely going to be vulnerable to the truth about something. And you're going to feel intimidated by that vulnerability and that, intimidation. And this could actually even be you defending yourself, um, but in a very irate way. The Knight of Swords is kind of like the most irascible knight. You can't like calm him down. He's very focused just on the intent, right? And that's like the mind. That's kind of like that fire energy that he holds that is like throughout him. He's even red himself, so he's hot. And you might just be feeling the Pisces might be feeling red hot right now. Or you might even be dealing with a Gemini, right? Yeah, you guys might just feel very like sour about a situation from the past that you had to leave, that you felt restricted by, that you felt like it was a very karmic thing that happened. Maybe you feel like you paid a karmic debt and now you're coming out of that situation and you're like, no, it's not going to happen again. It's never going to happen again like that. I will not take it. It's kind of like that type of thing. It's almost like you don't want to take any bullshit from anybody after you've gone through this really hard time. But listen, Mercury, this is also Gemini right here, Knight of Swords. It's saying that things probably might get a little bit more wild once Mercury does go retrograde, you know. But this is saying just being able to adapt to the quick flow of energy that is going to be ever changing, right? Um, you can't really contain mutable air, it just moves very quickly. So it's really just you're gonna have to keep a cool head about you, okay? Because the Knight of Swords also is kind of a hothead. You're gonna have to keep a cool head about you, definitely, Pisces, throughout whatever it is that you're going through. Even though the times might get hard, even though you might get frustrated, you might be sad, you might be angry, you might be confused, you might, feel so many different things. Just don't lose your head about you, okay? So now I'm going to flip over the the earth placement, right? Which has to, mainly do with work. It could even have to do with, like your physical body, your time, the energy, the effort that you're putting into something, that type of thing. Let's flip it over. Work, your card. This is great because it's coming in after the Eight of Cups, right? The Nine of Cups, right? So this is saying that there's a wish that you have in terms of work and in terms of money. Some of you, want to do better financially. Some of you want to be able to like rebuild your savings again. Some of you may feel like, things might be getting a little bit out of hand in terms of your money or in terms of like some of your investments, right? Or you're aware of like how in order to get what you want, you might have to spend more money. That's kind of like, right, because this is the wish card and it's Jupiter in Pisces, and Jupiter is kind of like a little bit excessive and he's overtly abundant. He's very bountiful as well. And this is a wish card. This is saying, like if you want to have your wishes fulfilled, then you're gonna have to put the focus into the completion of that thing coming true. Or it's almost like, um, be very intent on how you want to manifest something so you can see it through to its full manifestation. Um, Also, it talks about, it talks about opportunities as well. There are more opportunities to be vulnerable by, to feel victimized by wishes not being fulfilled, just because every wish that you have may not come true. So just be careful. It's almost like you have to be able to identify, count your blessings, be able to like acknowledge what a blessing is when it's presented to you, and don't be complacent or feel emotionally, because of your emotional withdrawal, you won't see an opportunity when it's staring you in the face. That type of thing. Okay, in terms of work or in terms of making more money, and if work is fine and you don't see that changing, this could be an opportunity to save more money. And if it's not saving more money, this could be like a tax return that comes in that actually is going to bring some relief to whatever area it was that was suffering for you. Obviously, it has to be an area that could be taken care of with a little money being thrown at it. But, that type of thing. This could even be you getting something that you wanted that you weren't expecting to get. You know what I mean? But you still wanted that thing, and it being sort of like dropped into your lap, and that's wonderful. For some of you, this could be a promotion at work, definitely, because it is a nine, and that's related to the hermit. And the hermit is like Virgo, daily routine, and that's your job and how you go to work every day. And this could be you wanting to get a promotion or wanting to get a raise at work and you getting it, or you wanting to get the amount that you requested, right? And then you definitely getting that. Um, yes, for sure. I'm living for that. So let's see the effect of that. Okay, right. So this is saying that you may not get every, or you're because it's the Two of Pentacles, right? So it's Jupiter and Capricorn, and Capricorn is naturally scaled down, naturally restricted, naturally like less excessive, right? They're a little bit more frugal, and with it being, sorry, I'm gonna adjust the camera, and with it being, the Two of Pentacles, this is saying that you're gonna have to make a choice to be frugal. because of, maybe you were feeling glamorous at one point, right, in terms of money, or maybe you were overspending, or maybe you were just kind of like letting things happen, right? Jupiter in Pisces is ruled by Neptune dissolves boundaries, and he gets a little bit like, oh yeah, let's spend this $2,000 on this D squared jacket. I mean, you're only gonna buy it once, right? It's like that type of thing. So now you got the $2,000 D squared jacket, but now you got to pay that car note. You forgot that you didn't pay it. It's like that type of thing. You know what I mean? Um, Not saying that you won't have the money to pay that, but it's like you've been like, damn, I didn't figure that in. So, it's like that type of thing. Getting what you want, but then realizing what the consequences of getting that thing were, because Jupiter definitely makes things grow. He gives you things, and, he's luck, he's abundance, he's, wish fulfillment as well when it comes to Jupiter being in Pisces with this 9 of Cups here. But then it's like you understanding what it's going to take now for you to balance everything out. You definitely are weighing out your options in terms of like what it is that you want or what it is that you are wishing for. Some of you, um, I'm getting that some of you might even be thinking about your tax returns because of your children or something like that. Maybe you guys want to take your kids somewhere. Some of you, I feel like you will be able to do that, but then at the same time, it's like you're still gonna have to like be aware of what you spend when you actually do go on that trip. Okay, so that's that. That's a message for someone. So now let me go ahead and flip over these. Wow, the cards that are in your fire placement. Ooh, whoa, Pisces. Okay, these are good. Let me go ahead and lay these cards out. This is good. I never did this, but we'll see if they even have any correlation to what's going on here. Um, in the fire placement, you got the Ace of Rods, which is talking about potent energy of new beginnings, right? Things taking action. This is very assertive energy, and there's the opportunity for growth here, definitely. And this is the impetus to take action on something. Good for you, Pisces, because I feel like you need to take the lead in something, right? Whatever that is, you might know what it is, Pisces. Take the lead. Okay, that's what I'm getting from this Ace of Rods. It's definitely an opportunity. I was talking about that. And you started the reading out with the Seven of Rods, right? The adversity, facing the adversity, having to fend for oneself, being challenged by this mature energy of the Wands, the King of Rods, someone who's very focused intently on seeing you struggle, or maybe this is the future you watching you struggle, right? And then you sort of appreciating all of these things that you've gone through now, because the sevens are related to the chariot, and it is talking about movement forward through evolution, through a spiritual evolution, right? When you've weighed out a situation and you've determined that the only way to go is to move forward, right? You guys are dealing with some types of, you know, destined uh, dealings with your relationships, right? And who's in your life on a day to day level. People that are consistently in your life. What's the karma there? Also, with this 8 of Cups being here and you having to really muster up the strength to turn around and leave a situation uh, the way that it was. Maybe you have to drop something. You've got to sacrifice something. And it might even have to be with like a younger sporty man, or this could just be the awareness of having to travel. This might even have to be like a difficulty in terms of like travel, or like an actual vehicle. um you know that type of thing, because it's still a Norman, and it's the rider, right? And the rider is Mercury, and the rider moves. He was movement, right? transportation, getting from one place to the next. Um, he also talks about, physical fitness and sportsmanship, that type of thing. So some of you might need to be a good sport and not get a little bit fiery or too heated, you know, even though you might be feeling some kind of way about the restrictions that you might be feeling in terms of, I don't know, how you feel about these boundary issues. Oh, some boundary issues somewhere in here, Pisces. Okay, so also you have the oh wow. In the earth placement where you have the 9 of cups, right, which is a wish card, it's talking about you wishing that work would get better, you wishing that finances would get better, you wishing that money would get better. And you have the card for here that says make a wish, you know what I mean? You have the wish card from the Lenormand deck, which is stars, right? This is the Aquarius card, if you will, right? It's talking about using your inspiration, letting your intuition guide you. Also, kind of like paying attention to your dreams. And it's also saying go after your dreams, follow your dreams. If you want your wishes fulfilled, then do what you love. Absolutely. And that's what this is saying too. Wish fulfillment, you want to see it. You want to turn around and gasp at all those things behind you that you always wanted that are now there. That type of thing, right? Do what you love. That's the only way you're going to be like, I'm living. If it's something that you love. If it's not something that you love, then you're just going to be constantly trying to make something work just because it is work. Right? Also, it says there's luck and abundance here when you realize what it is that, what your gifts are. This is also talking about, this is Mercury again. You got 2 Mercury cards here. You got major arcana, right? Those are the only major arcanas you got in the reading. The Lovers and the Magician. So some of you might be dealing with a Gemini, somebody with some heavy Gemini placements. You yourself may have them, or you might be dealing with someone who has Virgo placements, right? This is saying that you need to be able to identify with all of the resources that you have available and being able so that you can achieve these things that you want to achieve. you know this is as above so below. If you can think it, you can manifest it down to earth into something and make it real. But this is the awareness of being able to do that, the awareness of being to be or not to be. That is the question, honey. This is an Aries, but this is Roman numeral 1. And it talks about the initiation of something, the impetus of something. It's the inclination, right? The inspiration. It is also the transition, the transmitting of energy. How are you going to transmit this energy from your mind into physical form? You know what I mean? And it's also understanding that there is structure around you, right? It's available in all of these different places, right? It's already there. That's why there are 4 elements. So there's some structure there, right? There's stability there. You can find these resources around you, right? If you just know how to work them, how to make it possible for yourself. The magician knows that. And once you tap into that energy, the Lenormand card is the fish. It says that there's abundance and there's money here for you, Pisces. Or there's an abundance of something, love. There's an abundance of, what is this? 34. Creating more stability by way of earning more money. you know, feeling very, you know, feeling very productive again in terms of like the cash flow and being able to, accumulate funds and finances. Also, you're just kind of like getting back into the swing of things. You're definitely going to be dealing with some stuff over the retrograde. Let me pull another bonus card. Oh, the same card that popped up at the bottom of the reading. So you're going to have to let go of some codependencies. You're going to have to let go of some substance abuse issues. You're going to have to let go of some situations where you're allowing other people to control you just because they have something that you want. Also, you're going to have to realize how you're becoming prisoner to some of your, you know, your unhealthy attachments. You know, like I said at the beginning, face your fears. And if the fear is of yourself, then you have to face the fear of yourself, honey. Right? Pisces, face your fears. Work is an issue for you. Also, codependencies are an issue for you. Also, you may be feeling like nothing is going to get better or it's not going to get better. But that's all an illusion. Everything that is in its physical form that you can see is an illusion. So you need to really just tap into your spirituality and let that strengthen you, right? Because this is also karma. It's karmic debt, too. Because you're definitely paying this motherfucker back. Look at him. Right? In the face. Right. Release this energy. Release it. Right? Because it's not serving you. And even if it's like an idea or if it's a concept or if it's almost like kind of like a concept that you didn't really fully develop yourself, it was one that your subconscious developed for you by way of you feeling a certain way, release yourself from it. Detach. Right? Don't be your own worst enemy. That's the thing I'm getting. Own worst enemy. Right, look at that. Conflict, the 5. There's a missing piece of the puzzle that you got to put together. But it's once you release yourself from, the constraints of, something that you believe was working for you that isn't working for you anymore, or that wasn't working for you and that isn't still working for you now. You know, there's still something for you to figure out here. And it might have to do with, matters of the heart. It might have to do with some ego things, some pride issues. You might even be being stubborn about some things. You might be involved with a Leo. You yourself might have some Leo placements. But this is really talking about how committed you are to a cause, or how committed are you to creating harmony, right? Are you committed to just creating more disharmony? Or are you allowing your belief systems to make you feel threatened by a competitive energy that you might be sensing or feeling? How much self-respect do you have, uh, to know when to pull out, or to know when to like not what did I say? It's almost like don't make something your business that is actually only taking away from your energy. You know what I mean? Don't let other people take away from your energy just because you might be having unhealthy image issues, self-image issues. You know what I mean? Because people are going to be willing to take away from that. They're going to be willing to even like, they're energy vampires. They're going to take away from that. When people see that you're like down or sad, and they are too, they're just going to, keep that same thing going amongst you two. Yeah. It's like misery loves company, that type of thing. So once you stop being miserable, then those bitches won't want you as company anymore. That bitch is happy. Get out. Right? People like that. Haven't you gotten on the train before and you've sat down next to somebody, you just live your life, and they're unhappy, so they get really pissed when you're happy? I don't even know you. And that makes me happier. Anyway, Pisces, I love you guys. Look at this table. This table got so many cars on it. Lenormand. Morgan Greer. The Enchanted Tarot. These are the two cards that I found on the ground, you guys. And I just kind of keep them near me. They're beautiful, right? I'm going to get the Enchanted Tarot one day. So yeah, these are your cards, you know? Seven of Wands, bam. Obstacles, adversity, challenge. Challenged by your own authority. Foundations, some lies, some deceit, some betrayals, some overhead, oversight, some stuff, you know, some stuff happened. You're dealing with that, feeling backstabbed, feeling betrayed by something. You know, you're dealing with the situation where you feel like you want to be involved in more harmonious situations with people that you feel like you can trust, that respect you, that want to offer you a full experience of respect and guidance and love and comprehensive you know, just a comprehensive human experience. Like, I understand this, and we are acting like people. Okay, you're thinking about someone that you love. You're thinking about the receptivity. You're thinking about maybe talking to them. You're thinking about connecting with them and maybe having a shared experience together. You might be appreciating them and what it is they bring into your everyday life, or you just might be appreciating who they are in your life. You know what I mean? Also, you guys are having some, you know, some harsh feelings about having to leave a way of doing things or a time that once was that you feel some kind of way about, or you might have some unhealthy attachments to a time or a period or, you know, an experience, and it could just be because your ego doesn't want to let it go, right? You might just be being stubborn. um, and this might even be just affecting you in a way that you might be being a little bit less approachable, right? You know what I mean? And there's some things that could be moving forward for you if you kind of just change your perspective and your attitude. You definitely have a moment of cleansing here. This is a moment of spiritual truths, emotional truths for you, how you really feel about something. So your focus and the awareness of how you feel is very, like, you know, lit up for you, highlighted. You have some wishes that you'd like to see manifest, play themselves out into physical form. This is like, you know, the luck of abundance and you know, gifts and stuff like that. Jupiter and Pisces, this is saying that you can have what you want, but just be careful not to fall victim to, you know, those things that you wish you had. Sometimes when we wish we had something, we're not able to appreciate what we have around us. You know what I mean? You know, you might just be challenged in being able to understand or see what it is that you have around you that's valuable. Or you might just be wanting to make more money, or you may want to put more focus into your finances. You definitely have a wish for that. You might have to change your perspective in terms of, like, you know, just believing in how you can get what it is that you want. You might just be being challenged. You know, this is saying that there's a new impetus, there's a new action, there's a new movement, there's a new springing up of something that has the potential for growth and life. Um, you know, this is you being enthusiastic about it. This is in your position of your heart and your passion and creativity. So this is something that you feel like, wow, I feel like I can really be on board with this. And you're like, I think I have what it takes. I feel like I want to bring in my own talents and my resources, and I'm going to be studying. I'm going to be practicing more. I'm going to be honing my skills. I'm going to be sharpening my skills. I'm going to be, you know, maybe developing some new skills, that type of thing. And that's going to actually bring you more abundance and more money, right? Yeah. So that's really great. Some of you might be getting that promotion in terms of like a title that you might want to have at work. It could just be a promotion at work in terms of getting more money, or, you know, you might just be getting a different job, some of you. Um, or this could just be promoting yourself in your relationship, or you getting promoted in a relationship with someone to a different status. Sorry, now I'm being real with y'all because I'm like popping my neck and stuff. Sorry, I know people hate that. All right, Pisces, I love you guys. I really do. Happy birthday, and I'll see you next month. Like, share, and subscribe. Oh, I read at Shanti Bookshop and Crystal Gallery on Sundays from 12 until however long. And that is at 230 East 14th Street between 2nd and 3rd Avenues in New York City, near Union Square, in the East Village, around the NYU area. If you'd like a reading with me, email providencetarotkendrick at gmail.com. I will get back to you as soon as possible. Follow me on Instagram. I'm at NYC Kendrick. I'm also at Kendrick NYC. And of course, Providence Tarot on IG. And if you like food and delicious, colorful, edible treats, confections, savories, follow my food account. It's called The Tongue Pop. Okay? I think that's everything. Oh, yes. Definitely check us out. We have our weeklies going. Dale has Providence Tarot West. Check him out there. Definitely subscribe to this channel, like this video, and share this video. And if you guys want to send any shout outs on social media, just, at Providence Tarot or hashtag us. And yeah, we'll see you later. Bye.